Something happened in a part of New Mexico that could answer the question, are we alone in the universe? Did a UFO crash in the desert near Roswell? The American government suppressed all media coverage of the event, but stories and footage have leaked out of alien autopsies and interrogations. Now, as we approach the turn of the century, the whole planet seems to have gone UFO crazy. More and more people are coming forward to talk about sightings and alien abductions. Intriguing stuff. Now, with me is a man responsible for carrying out official research and investigation into the UFO phenomena for the British Ministry of Defence. He's just written a book, The Uninvited, about alien abductions. He is Nick Pope. Pleased to meet you, Nick. Thanks for coming in. My first question's got to be, what exactly did you do for the Ministry of Defence?
Well, basically, it was my job to investigate the 200 or 300 UFO sightings each year that were reported to the Ministry. I would have to check out to see whether there were conventional explanations, and then when I'd eliminated those, see what we were left with.
You began with scepticism, and the evidence that you saw changed your mind, am I right?
That's right. I mean, you know, I used to think that these things, I don't know, someone had one or two drinks too many, coming back from the pub late at night, sees some sort of light in the sky, probably an aircraft, and says that they've seen aliens. That's what I thought. When I looked into it, though, I found that that was grossly oversimplified, and that was very patronising, actually. There's a hard kind of science behind this. You've got lots of sightings from civil and military pilots. You've got some visual sightings backed up on radar. You've got cases where RAF jets have been scrambled to try and intercept these things. And you've got cases like Rendlesham Forest, where people say something have landed, and radiation readings 10 times normal taken from the ground. So
you do believe, state for the record, that there are serious implications for some of the sightings and evidence that you've had a look at?
Without a shadow of a doubt, our air defences are being routinely breached by structured craft of unknown origin. And what's more, these things do things that we can only dream about. I mean, they are way beyond the cutting edge of our technology, even our prototype craft, in terms of speed and manoeuvrability. So they're here, we can't stop them. That's got to be of defence significance.
Sure. And the anniversary of Roswell, perhaps the most famous alien incident in living history. What are your views on this subject?
Well, I think Roswell was real. It happened. Numerous military witnesses, wreckage which couldn't be burnt when you bent it, it snapped back.
Yeah, the reports are there.
Yeah.
I mean, all the elements are there. The only thing I would come back is there are two conclusions, surely. One is that we are looking at an alien craft. The other one is that we're looking at a technology that was under development then and is still top secret now.
Well, there's a chap called Colonel Philip Corso, who has just come forward in the States, and he says, yes, it was real, his credentials are not in dispute, and he says that all sorts of modern things that we take for granted, like lasers, fiber optics, even Kevlar from body armor, is all back-engineered from the Roswell crash. So there's a lot of interesting stuff on this at the moment.
What evidence of abduction in your role at the Ministry of Defence have you seen?
Abductions you probably won't prove in a sort of forensic way. You are much more dependent on the accounts of the witnesses. Bud Hopkins, of course, I guess possibly the world's most famous researcher into alien abductions, has the case of Linda Cortile, who was abducted from a New York apartment. What's interesting about that is it was independently witnessed by a number of other people who had nothing to do with the case. Now, there's an X-ray of Linda's nose, which shows a strange sort of implant, these things are called, which, you know, nobody can explain how this thing got into her nose. So we're going to be looking for some answers to the medical profession.
It's still hypothetical, though, isn't it? And I mean, it begs the question, when is there going to be some resolution? Can you see it on the horizon?
Well, I think undoubtedly the pace of this is picking up, and has been over the last 3 or 4 years. It does look as if we're building up to something. Quite what that is, I don't know. Of course, it would be nice to think that perhaps there'll be open contact with these people. But I think, you know, things really do seem to be moving in that direction, and I think we've got some incredibly interesting times ahead.
Mick Pope, thanks very much.
Thanks.